Hi, my name is Tim McGonigal and I'm one of the owners here at Folsom Physical Therapy in Folsom, California. As you'll see, there's much you can do to enhance your bone health and reduce the risk of a fracture. Osteoporosis is a huge problem worldwide. Currently in the United States, 10 million Americans have an osteoporosis diagnosis and another 43 million have a diagnosis of osteopenia, which means they're on the way to developing osteoporosis. That is half the US population over 50 years old. Why does it matter? Weakened bones increase fracture risk. I know it's hard to believe, but stats show that 50% of US Caucasian and Asian American women will suffer a fracture due to bone density deficiency at some point in their life. The human and financial cost is enormous. In fact, fractures are a leading cause of death in people over 65 and a huge strain on families and the medical system. The impact is not just the immediate disruption in someone's life and the associated medical costs, but fractures lead to convalescence and prolonged inactivity, which leads to a rapid deterioration of all of our tissues and systems. We have seen that within 3 days of bed rest, there's clear deterioration in all of our tissues. Within 3 weeks, the changes in our systems and our tissues equals 30 years of aging. And they believe that if there is 4 months of forced bed rest, a full recovery to your previous level of health is not possible. Stanford PhD graduate Belinda Beck has a very progressive program in Australia, and she talks about the uncomfortable truth of running an osteoporosis program that is truly effective. Moderately vigorous exercises really do very little to stimulate new bone growth, and that the challenge of the exercise has to be sufficient to challenge the structural integrity of the bone and causing it to deform before new bone cells will be produced. Most clinicians are hesitant to get involved in such a program due to the risk of fracture and the liability associated of subjecting osteoporotic people to such forces. The therapists of Folsom Physical Therapy have been on the forefront of creative and productive exercise since its inception in 1983. Our in-depth knowledge of tissue remodeling and our vast experience with the aging population positions us well to lead such a program. Our system is designed to mitigate the risk associated with participation and to accommodate the common existing comorbidities that exist in this age group. As fall prevention is a primary goal, it is incorporated into every stage of the program. All aspects are carried out with careful instructions and close supervision. We now know that a bone health program must have 2 components. One is to stimulate the proliferation of new cells, and the other is to have a component that causes these new cells to stick around and mature into more robust bone matrix. Until recently, optimizing cell proliferation has been the missing link in the osteoporosis battle. Our program will meet you where you're at. If you are looking for prevention or are in the early stages of osteoporosis, we have a starting point for you. But if you have advanced osteoporosis and many comorbidities, we will have you start with a safe initial tissue toughening phase in order to prepare you to participate fully in the program. If prevention is your goal, or if you're in the early stages, we'll have you jump right in. The cell proliferation program will be performed at home twice a day, and the heavy work that will cause the new cells to mature into more robust matrix will be performed in our clinic under close supervision. The program is well-rounded as it's going to focus on developing overall strength, endurance, cardiovascular fitness, agility, balance, and flexibility. Once the participants are well versed in the routine, then they can join our cost-effective group exercise sessions that allow a convenient way for people to be consistent with the program over their lifetime. These sessions are fun, social, energizing, and supervised by a physical therapist. As you can see, it's not just about bone health, but it's about overall fitness and social connections that are so critical to people's health and lifespans. please feel free to join us. And if you don't live in the Folsom area, feel free to contact us to see if we have trained therapists in your area that can help you with the program. Thank you very much for your time.